you got to make sure you get all the big numbers. Bill, it's all yours. I called to order the City of Columbiana City Council meeting on this December 20th, 2022. We're gonna have Deanne give the invocation, and then we'll ask John Rhodes to present the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we acknowledge your presence among us tonight, and we know you're always with us. Give us the wisdom to work in the best interest of everyone in our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, justice for all. Deanne, you call the roll?
Becker,
Here.
Souter,
Here.
McBain,
Here.
Liston,
Here.
DiTilio,
Here.
Banner,
Here.
Noel,
Here.
Willard,
Here.
Hudson,
Here. You all received a copy of the December 6th, 2022 minutes in your packet. Are there any questions or comments regarding that information? Hearing none, those minutes will be accepted as submitted. I have no reading of communications, so I'm going to move to the reports of commissions and boards. You received a copy of the Park, Recreation and Cemetery Board meeting minutes of November 28th, 2022. Are there any questions or comments regarding those minutes? You also received a copy of the Planning Commission meeting minutes of December 13th, 2022. Any questions or comments on that report? Hearing none, they'll both be accepted and submitted as they were presented. At this time, we'll move to recognitions of persons desiring to appear. And the first is Bridget
Walsinovich.
Walsinovich. And she's our new Chamber Executive Director, so we'd like her to come forward and comment to us. Good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you. Most of you I have met before. I'm the new Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, and I look forward to working with all of you. I previously have been with the school, so that's how I know a lot of you here. I work with the Chamber with Dan here, but also at the Board of Education. So I look forward to working with the city for the greater good of Columbiana. So if you need anything, my office is always open. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Bridget,
Thank you.
on your job. And she's also an actor.
Well, I wasn't here during the previous month because we were a little busy on the stage.
Very good. And but it's good to have you on board. It's great to have them uptown, right in the center of town, and cooperating with the Tourism Bureau and the collective and everybody working out of that space there at the theater, I think really works well. So I think that's great.
I'm hoping to reopen the hub the coming year.
Good deal. Thank you. Next, we have Crystal Sambita Boggs to discuss Just a Jog 5K race in the city of Columbiana. Crystal.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, so we have another event we're gonna put on. Just a Jog 5K. We actually utilized the same course last year for the You've Got This 5K. That was just like a one and done event. This is hopefully gonna be something that takes place every January. I don't know, some of you follow us on social media. My husband and I are trying to make this full time instead of working for other people and what have you. So Just a Jog is our first race of the year. They're not all in Columbiana, so you don't have to stress out about that. We're in Lisbon, we're in Canfield, we're gonna be all over the place. So, it's just the typical setup, 5K race. This one starts at 10 o'clock in the morning because it is a January event. People don't really like to get out when it's 12 degrees and windy before it starts to warm up a little bit. So, I mean, any questions? I know we've already submitted the insurance to Rebecca. Talked to the police department already about the course and stuff, so it's the usual. Any questions?
Crystal, what's the date on it?
January 22nd.
Okay.
It is a Sunday morning.
Only one church impacted there, right?
Yeah, and we did You've Got This on a Sunday morning, and we found that the church is not so busy that we run past that it would impact it. We tried to adjust it around, that's not during like their service times, it's during their Sunday school time. So it should be,
Yeah, I remember I was out helping with that one, and it didn't seem like it was a problem. Is this at the same time? Pretty close.
I think it's pretty close. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
That's the Lutheran Church?
The
You go-
JLC.
Yeah,
Jerusalem, yeah,
yeah, service starts at 10 there.
okay. That might be the difference then.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You start at 10, it'll
Yes.
work.
Do we need a motion to approve this?
I'd like to move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Okay, any questions on the motion? Yam, you call the roll?
Becker,
Yes. Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, we're going to, at this time, move to the manager's report. I'd like to ask Lance to make his presentation.
Thanks, Mayor. Okay, so the Joy Christmas is still going well. Still looking for some volunteers. If you're wanting to get out there, we're rounding third and heading home, right? Getting pretty close. So I was out there on Saturday night and it was busy as I've ever seen it. So it's really good. We've been working on the bond council for the sewer assessment project and we're getting those documents ready to sell the notes on December 29th. And that went to Farmers National Bank. So we're excited that we're dealing with a local bank. Short-term rental section, recommendations, we gave it to Planning Commission. They did approve and sent it back to council, and that's up for discussion tonight. And hopefully, if you have any questions, Mark will answer them for us. Progress Committee saw let's see, it was a couple weeks ago. We saw the second presentation given by the Progress Committee, but the Town Center and Associates that we work with downtown, they were there. They got to see it. It was their original idea to do something with this parking lot. So they came in from Pittsburgh, watched the students. They did a great job. And now the students have been invited to take a trip to PA and do the same presentation in front of, we're going to try to get Mount Lebanon, Bellevue, Homestead, and Carnegie there. So it'll be a neat experience. And we're really happy that the school's interested in participating, and Trish Mesos is very excited about doing that. So they also were working on the last couple of weeks, working on that invite to the governor and try to get the governor to come to see the presentation. They were interviewed the mayor and Skip there, and also Mark LaMancha and the business owners that are involved. So they're getting a lot of experience. It's pretty neat. They're doing a great job. Credit card fees that we were working on, we spoke about at last meeting about the park ordinance. Mark cleared that language up, and there's a copy of it at your desk there with a highlighted change. So that's what you'll be voting on tonight. The TURP committee for the county met today. There's representatives from the county, the school, the city, and just area residents. And we went over our enterprise zones and our CRA agreements. And they voted to move forward with all those, continue those. So we will get a letter from them, probably the next council meeting, to hear their recommendation, and then have council vote to move those forward to continue them for another year. Let's see, we did get a scissor lift. We're gonna be using that a lot in a lot of various departments, but we used it, I think the day that it was delivered, we actually put up the last two strings of bistro lights we were having problems with. We fixed those, so all the lights are back up and running and look really nice. Dr. Kim Sharshian came to council, I don't know, in the last couple months, and she was talking about Fix the Sticks in the Historical Society, where the students have been working on that miniature model. It was pretty neat looking model, and then the students were raising money for it. They actually presented to the Board of Education last week, so I think that's really neat to have fourth graders in there and working with the city and the Historical Society. It's really important. We continue to work on 2 FEMA stormwater applications, and hopefully we'll be wrapping that up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll hear something from that probably midsummer. Street department, they finished up the leaves and did a great job. Thank you for everybody for bagging those ones that you did, making the city look nice. We did clean some storm lines and catch basins, getting ready for the snow. We did make the brine in 1,500 gallons of brine, so we're ready to go with that. We did work on a few, helped water plant on a few water taps over the last couple of weeks. Water department, we're gonna have that, our tanks, gonna have some company come in there and dive it with scuba gear on. They go down there and they film and come back out and give us recommendations on what we need to do with the tank. So we're gonna be doing that. I think it's gonna be in February. Feels awful cold to be diving, but that's what they do for a living. So let's see. Wastewater department, we serviced a couple pumps at the Southern Avenue lift station. We did diagnose an electric drive problem at the influent pumps at the filter building down there, and we're gonna need to order a new drive. Park and Cemetery, another really neat project. Park staff building 40 birdhouses for a collaboration project with Joshua Dixon in the middle school. And so we're building them, and the students are going to be painting them, and they'll be placed up in the park and cemetery. And that interaction with the school is key. I mean, it's pretty neat. Just another neat project that is going on in the city. We're scraping and painting in the pool basement. We're upgrading the lighting in the basement. We ordered the new filters, and we're gonna have those in, before next season. So within 2 years, we've replaced the pool heater. We're gonna have new filters down there that have never been replaced, as far as I know. It's been a long time anyway, so. And we also have an emergency hatch. It's basically on the pool deck. It allows you into the basement using a tripod harness for extractions or for maintenance purposes in the future. And we are doing that now. Only time you can do it is when the pool doesn't have any water in it. And the parts took a long time to come in, but we do have a contractor out there. And got to cut that concrete and then put the hatch in. Park and cemetery staff, they prepped for the Wreaths Across America, which was held on Saturday. Electric department performed the utility locates like the other departments. They did fix the banner. Noticed that banner for Joy of Christmas, it was broke, so we had to go up there and restring it. They had to fix some lights in town, and there was a utility pole that was knocked askew, and they had to straighten that out. So that's everything I have there.
Thank you. Any
Thanks.
questions for Lance? Very good. Thank you. You received a copy of the mayor's court report for November 2022. Are there any questions on that report? Now, I want to start by saying when we move to old business, oh, I'm sorry, you also, I forgot you also received a copy of the bill list of 12/20/22. Any questions on the bill list? I just want to say that as we move to old business with our business today, makes me very nervous when Mike is in the audience. Because that's when the ordinances really get good.
He's got two more big numbers for you. He's got two more big numbers for you.
Some more numbers on it, so. So I'd like to ask if, entertain a motion to read all the resolutions and ordinance by title only.
So, second,
Motion second. Yami, call the roll.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Okay. Resolution number 22-R-612, second reading. A resolution ratifying and approving acceptance of credit and debit cards for payment of Firestone Park Pavilion, shelters, and Idabel Firestone Gathering Place rental fees, Firestone Pool rental fees, and Columbiana Cemetery fees.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Questions? Yami, call the roll.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Ordinance number 22-0-3149, second reading. An ordinance establishing dates of regularly scheduled council meetings and meetings of boards and commissions for the calendar year 2023 and directing the publishing and posting of this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Yami, you call the roll?
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Ordinance number 22-0-3150, second reading. An ordinance amending section 1062.07 and B3 of the codified ordinances of Columbiana, Ohio regarding rental rates in the recreation park and repealing all other ordinances in conflict herewith.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Yami, call the roll.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Ordinance number 22 0 3151, second reading. An ordinance amending appropriation ordinance 22 0 3110 by adding $227,300 in the general fund, $94,000 in the park fund, $10,000 in the cemetery fund, $5,000 in the police pension fund, $260,000 in the water fund, $71,000 in the sewer fund, $380,000 in the electric fund, $5,000 in the street fund, $5,000 in the fire fund, $30,000 in the EMS fund, $1,335,750.20 in the capital improvement fund, $401,000 in the income tax fund, and $5,000 in the bond retirement fund, all for the payment of current expenses as they may arise.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? No, we won't repeat that. Not even a possibility.
I just want to know about the 20 cents.
Mike will tell you. It's
Yeah.
all there, right?
20 cents.
Okay.
For 20 cents, that'll turn into a 20-minute conversation, so I'll pay it.
Yami, you call the roll?
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes,
Ordinance number 22 0 3152, second reading. An ordinance transferring $400,000 from the income tax fund, $200,000 to the general fund, and $200,000 to the capital improvement fund, all for the payment of current expenses as they may arise.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Deanne, call the roll?
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
yes,
Banner,
Yes.
Ordinance number 22 0 3153, second reading. An ordinance transferring $25,000 from the general fund, $25,000 to the park fund, all for payment of current expenses as they may arise.
So moved.
second,
Deanne, call the roll?
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
yes,
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Ordinance number 22 0 3154, second reading. An ordinance to make temporary appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Columbiana, state of Ohio for the first 3 months of the year 2023, ending March 31st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Deanne, please call the roll.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
yes,
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Would like a motion to read the next 2 resolutions as title, as emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Deanne, call the roll?
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
yes,
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Resolution number 22-R-613, emergency. An emergency resolution authorizing the city manager to execute and file all necessary information and documentation and act as the authorizing agent relative to the hazardous mitigation grant program for FEMA.
So moved.
Second.
Dan, we call the roll?
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Resolution number 22-R-614, emergency. An emergency resolution authorizing the city manager to execute and file all necessary information and documentation and act as the authorizing agent relative to the hazard mitigation grant program for FEMA.
So moved.
Second.
What's the difference between those two?
Yeah, what's the difference?
There's no difference in the title, but this year if you recall, in the spring, we announced two FEMA grants that we were awarded. One is for Prospect. It goes clear down, starts at Birdfish, goes clear down south underneath the railroad. And the other one's gonna start at the cemetery, go down East Park Avenue, Beverly and Ray. So they're two separate projects and they're coming right on top of each other. So
Thank
it's,
you.
yeah.
And they're actually called out in the body of the resolution,
Yeah.
but just not in the title.
Very good. Good questions. Dan?
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Okay, this is where usually there's applause when you say this is the last ordinance of the night. An ordinance number 22-0-3155, first reading. An ordinance enacting chapter 874 of the codified ordinances of the city of Columbiana, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions or comments on that?
So I had a couple. Because that would be difficult. First off, this one is definitely not a deal breaker by any means. But in the parking where it describes parking, do we want to include any language about that having to be paved in some way, or are we okay with people parking on someone's front lawn if that happens? Like I said, not a deal breaker, just a thought. Or is that a solution looking for a problem?
That might be a good way to describe it. I see your point. We could basically limit it to driveway parking, but, you know, one thing planning commission discussed is the idea if, you know, we're saying how many people can be in an Airbnb. So if everybody drives their own car there, and that's a very, you know, distinct possibility, you're gonna end up with 4 cars. If you have a single car driveway, you're gonna almost end up with something on the yard. Now, we can prohibit it, but do we want to? I mean,
The reason
I
I,
get what you're saying.
yeah, the reason I think it's probably a problem looking for, or a solution looking for a problem is because we're limiting it to commercial districts only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna play in. It just popped into my head as I was reading through it. So I just wanted to mention it, and it's always something we can fix later if it becomes a problem. So
Yeah, I mean, it can be amended. I appreciate your thought on that. And again, it is a commercial district, so that probably eliminates that problem. But
I mean, maybe downtown would be the one place we could see that as an issue. So.
But
I'm okay with leaving it and just saying we'll fix it if it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I would think too, that if there was a problem, if somebody had a leased property, there was a problem, parking on grass or something, that would be in their lease agreement.
Yeah, it's, like I said, I think it's probably a solution looking for a problem, but it popped into my head, so I figured I'd mention it. And the other question I had was, since we're touching zoning, do we have to do any zoning process for this as well?
because this is, chapter 874 is not in the zoning ordinance. The zoning ordinance is chapters, basically.
1200.
Yeah, now, the definition in here of bed and breakfast, we're gonna have to put the new definition in 1260.35. So that doesn't require this to go through the zoning process. Lance and I discussed that, and this is strange, but it's basically a process that doesn't involve zoning, so it doesn't involve a lot of going back and forth. We've done all that. There will be publication of this as if we are codifying or recodifying an ordinance, is what it amounts to. Even though it's brand new, I looked at it and said, well, okay, we're going to call that codifying or recodifying the ordinance. So we'll put a notice publication before 7 days before the next meeting. So this is set for a second reading January 3rd. So we'll do publication between now and then.
Okay.
I just like to make a comment that I thought it was really great that Bryce Minor did that excellent report. An analysis regarding the need, why this was good and why it would be good for the city. And he pointed out how, specifically pointed out a number of cities which did not, put their short-term rentals into a commercial district. And it created a whole lot of problems in their cities because they got so many short-term rental properties in there that cause problems. So I think it's really great that he did that research, and I think that'll be good to have on file. And I think it makes a lot of sense, and he helped clarify that.
He spent a lot of time and energy putting this together.
Yep.
Yeah. It's very good.
Not that we don't appreciate Mark's work. Okay, any other questions or comments? Yami, call the roll.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
Attilio,
Yes,
Banner,
Yes.
Okay, my first question is going to be, we are debating, no actions going to be necessary. Okay. We have, shortly, I'm going to entertain motions to go into executive session. There won't be any business after those executive sessions. So for the sake of all you out there, we are going to move up our comments, first starting with any public comments out there. Anybody that wants to say anything, make any comments tonight? And hearing none. And now I'd like to entertain council comments. Any comments?
Just keep looking at me, Mayor. Really kudos out to our street department and all of those that help out. I was very surprised at this late time in the season that there was still leaf, gathering, and it's much appreciated. You get into a situation where you have a lot of water running from a different area, and it kills your grass. You have no way of getting anything slowed down. The second one goes to our police department. I watched the kiddos over at Dixon today coming back from uptown, and it wasn't just one cruiser protecting them, it was three. And that just means, a lot to those parents. It takes a lot of fear out of their minds. So thanks, Chief.
I'd like to just kind of echo a comment that, with the police that, you know, all this stuff going on at the schools, it's great to see they have very good presence out at the Columbiana High School during the days when, you know, the students are going into the school. I think makes somebody think twice the way they put their vehicles out there and make sure people know, you know, we have police in the community, you know, at the school. So I think that's very good as well. Thank you, Chief. Okay, any other comments?
I just have one. I wanted to congratulate the American Legion on another great Reach Across America event this last weekend. I mean, there had to have been, what, 300, 400 people out there. As usual, we had the wreaths placed in like 20 minutes. And it was all done very, very respectfully, a lot of different groups out there. So American Legion does a great job pulling that together, and it's a great event every year.
Yes, they do. Thank you. Good comment. Any other comments? Can I put this in two motions or one? Let's see, two executive. Two. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel, section 121.22 G1.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. We call the roll, Dan?
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
And now I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of sale of property, section 121.22 G2.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, we call the roll?
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Thank you. A motion to come out of executive session, discussion of personnel, section 121.22 G1.
So moved.
Second.
DM, you call the roll?
Liston,
Yes.
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
I'd like to entertain a motion to come out of executive session, discussion of sale of property, section 121.22 G2.
So moved. Second.
DM, we call the roll?
DiTilio,
Yes.
Banner,
Yes.
Becker,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
McBain,
Yes.
Liston,
Ho, 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 yes.
That was the vote we've been waiting for all year.
That's right. Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
So moved. Adjourn. Merry Christmas.